After a few wild keyboard builds, it's time to make one for myself. Sometimes one's needs are so specific that a full custom is the best option. I would have, if not for this. This is a Leopold FC980M PD, a pre-built board with Cherry MX switches. They're Korean-based with next to no presence in the UK, the most reliable source being mechanicalkeyboards.com, all the way from Tennessee. Even then, there's radio silence on my 5-month-long pre-order. Good thing there was return stock. So what makes this thing worth the trouble, let alone supplanting a full custom build for me? The first is aesthetics. It's off-white sprinkled with grey, harkens back to keyboards of yesteryear, in a modern twist with its simple wedge chassis. This neo-retro look is practically the language of this channel, and to an extent, me. I've no issue with going custom for unique colours and design. The aesthetic is already here, with more to its parts than meets the eye. Well, mostly. The 980M has a fairly uncommon layout called the Compact 1800, combining the functionality of a full-size down to the footprint of a TKL. This had been a personal gripe. I simply can't work without a numpad, and full-size boards would be fine if desk space wasn't a premium. I can eat my cake and have it too. The few missing things are easily accessed under the function layer, with redundancy such as these arrow keys becoming an instant favorite. I love this layout, and I'm glad competitive options exist, from colorful pre-builts to custom boards with full programmability. Bear in mind the 980M only provides a basic level of it. It's only a pre-built. What else gives it away is the tray mount construction. The PCB isn't suspended over a gasket, thus no bottom-out absorption. Is that a bad thing? Perhaps. At least the 980M's construction doesn't disappoint. There's little flex or creaks thanks to its steel mounting plate housed in a tight-fitting plastic case. Even its texture is remarkably uniform. As much as I love going DIY, cans of spray paint won't net you this level of quality. In fact, I expect this on a custom. What I didn't expect though are its keycaps. Made of thick PBT with double shot legends, it lends to high durability with the sharpest printing process, never wearing off. I think the small cherry font is a perfect blend of modern and retro. Their profile is similar to cherry and are quite slippery despite the rough texture. It won't be to everyone's liking, but finding aftermarket keycaps of these colors, construction and quality are next to impossible. I've missed out on these GMK group buys with no regrets. So it's got the looks, layout and quality. But what hasn't it got? Under here. Leopold supplies the 980M with Cherry MX switches. Not bad per se, but better alternatives exist, especially when none of their boards are hot swappable. This one has MX Black, a heavy linear switch that exhibits audible scratchiness and a ton of pinging. Even if we were to swap springs and lube them, they're soldered on. At least the teardown is easy. Let's start with 3 screws at the bottom, 1 under this warranty sticker, then gently nudge the front and rear clips, preferably not with a metal screwdriver. We can lift up the PCB thanks to this neat connector. The beginner unfriendliness of soldering will frankly put many off this otherwise high quality board. Now, MX Black are far from my favorite switches, so these are Kailh Box Navy. Heavily weighted clickies with monstrous tactility, they're set to fatigue your fingers and ears. Why these? Or in other words, why clickies? It's all preference, but likely due to how tactile switches generate tactility, I've found them to be inherently scratchy, unless you lube them. Box clickies are special in that they can have obscene tactile bumps, yet maintain a smooth key travel. Stock. The lineup has a decent range of weighting and tactility. These navies are the heaviest, definitely outside the range of most people, but suit my hammer hands fairly well. Other pleasantries are its clean sound signature, not even a peep from the spring. The keyboard can be spiced up instead. First, let's clip off the cheap looking blue LEDs and replace them. Hopefully, warm white won't look too tacky. These stabilizers seem to be genuine cherry plate mounts, already sounding good being pre-lubed and their stems pre-clipped. Though spacebar rattle can be sorted by chasing a little perfection. How about foam or tape? Mods that are rites of passage to the THOC. From the horde of keyboard modding videos, it is sprinkled magic for linear and tactile switches. How about clickies? Here are bits of dampening foam to fill the space between the plate, PCB and shell. And without soldering, it's all assembled. Let's have a listen. It all boils down to preference. I admire the poppy sound signature of foam and tape, but the richness of an undampened case is too good to ignore. Unlike linear and tactile switches, clickies seem to shine where their sound can reverberate in a hollow case, like an instrument. Thus I'm doubtful if gasket mounting, or even an aluminium chassis, would play well to this sound signature. But how about tape mod? I was about to plop it on without thought, but let's compare them as well. It does create a marginally deeper sound, but at the expense of being less full. I tried it with the spacebar as well. This had taken me aback. Perhaps the hollowness is making your skin crawl. To me, it's character. Quite ironic for being likely the dullest keyboard build in this platform. Boring because this Prebuilt meets so much of this niche case. I would wholeheartedly recommend the 980M if you don't mind the cherry switches. Their pinging is enough to turn me away if I didn't learn how to solder. There's almost little interest with clicky switches out there, but I recommend anyone to test the validity of these popular keyboard mods, regardless of build and switches, with your set of ears. My closing thoughts point to another type of videos out there: Endgame keyboards. While I'm largely uninterested in limited run parts and their exorbitant prices, I understand the chase of building something as unique as the personality it expresses. Though Endgame can also mean contentment. I don't find this thing amazing, but when the Prebuilt gets so many things right, perhaps there really is no need beyond it. If only Leopold boards are easier to grab